Alright, in today's video tutorial, we're going to be learning about Vue-Router. I'm going to jump over here. We're on router.vue.js.org right here. And just a little introduction, Vue-Router is the official router for Vue.js. It deeply integrates with Vue.js core to make building single-page applications with Vue.js a breeze. Features include nested route view mapping, modular component-based router configuration, router params, query, wildcards, Vue transition effects powered by Vue.js, fine-grained navigation control, links with automatic active CSS classes, HTML5 history mode or hash mode, and customizable scroll behavior. So if you're not familiar with Vue or Vue-Router, I'm going to jump over here to my application. This is an application I've been working on. Maybe I'll put a link up here in the description. You can kind of see how we got to this point of the app. But what I'm doing is I'm building a single page application. And one of the key features of a single page application is that every time you go to a new URL, let's say I change my URL to app hashtag dashboard. We only want the view to change. We don't want to actually re-render and reload an entire page. All we want is maybe this area to reload, or maybe a spot over here to add something new. We don't want to reload the whole page, because when we reload the whole page, we lose the state of our data. It looks and feels like a native desktop application. It doesn't have to reload the page. Every time you click on a button, you don't have to wait for that page refresh. So with Vue-Router, what it allows us to do is tell our application, this little hashtag here tells our application where the root of our URL is always going to remain, for my project, it's always going to remain app. Whatever my domain is, /app is never going to change. The only thing that's going to change is after this hashtag right here, this will change. So it might say dashboard, it might say dashboard/user, it might just say hashtag user, and this hashtag is basically just saying to my front end only, display this view. And that's what Vue-Router does for us. So let's go ahead and start setting this up. So I think the first thing I want to do is create some components that we can load in here with our Vue-Router. So let's go ahead and create, I'm actually going to probably rename this to dashboard. We'll call this main page the dashboard, and then we'll do like a contact page. So let's go ahead and create a dashboard view and a contact view. We'll come over here to our Visual Studio Code. I'm just in resources.js and then the app container. And the app container has basically all the code that makes up this page right here that you see, the sidebar nav, the header, the footer, and then the body. So first things first, I said I was going to change this from home to dashboard. So I'm just going to rename that, Command S to save, and then I'll refresh, and there we go. We got that as dashboard. So let's go ahead and create our dashboard component. Now, each one of these navigation links over here could contain an unknown amount of components essentially at one point. And I try and keep my projects really organized. So in here in my components, the app container is the root of my entire project. But now that I'm going to dive into a specific area of my application called dashboard, I'm going to just create a new folder. I'm going to create a new folder and we'll call that dashboard. So now I have a dashboard folder. I'm also going to create a new folder and call it contact. So now I have a dashboard folder and a contact folder. Now all the components that will eventually live in the dashboard area, there might be little widgets and tools and all kinds of things. Now I'm a little more organized than just having this, the root of my components, just a mile-long list of Vue components. So in my dashboard folder, a lot of times what I like to do is I like to start with the container, the dashboard container or the contact container. It's just the root of that area. I call it container.vue. I'm going to do that right here, container.vue. And this just contains the the look or the layout of whatever's behind dashboard or contact. And this gives me an area to kind of build on. So let me go ahead and we'll use template and then jump down here and we'll add our script tags. So we got our template and our script, and then we need to put something in here. For now, I'm not worried about building a dashboard. This is really just for a demonstration. So we'll just go ahead and say, hello, hello. You found the dashboard. So now I'll be able to tell when I'm on the dashboard page that I found the dashboard. That's good enough for this demonstration. We really just want to see how VueRouter works. So I'm going to do the same thing. I could just Command A for all and then Command C to copy. And I'm going to come over here. Actually, you know what? We can just copy this. And I want another file called container, but this time I want it in my contact. And here we are. You found the contact page. And then Command S to save. So now I have a container in my contacts and a container in my dashboard. So now let's use them for something. In order to use VueRouter, we need to import it into our project. So let's go ahead over here on the installation and we'll do npm install VueRouter. You could use the CDN. I believe they have yarn, possible, maybe not. I'm going to use npm and Command C to copy. We'll come over here to our terminal and I'm going to change into the root of my project directory. My project's called blog, so I'm just in the root, and then I'm going to Command V to paste and then enter. All right, so we've added this package to our project. I should be able to follow these steps. When using this with a module system, you must explicitly install VueRouter with Vue use. So let's go ahead and do all that now. We're going to set up our router file. So I'm back in Visual Studio Code, and I think I'm going to put it in, we'll do it out here in the root of the JS file. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it router, and then in that folder, I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it index.js. So now let's create our router file. The first thing I want to do is import Vue from Vue. Then I want to import VueRouter, so we'll do import VueRouter from VueRouter. Now if we jump back over here, it wants us to import VueRouter from VueRouter, and then Vue use router, or Vue use VueRouter. So let's copy that and we'll put that in right here. So now we've done all the instructions that they've provided down here. There's a lot of different ways that you can set this up, and they provide a lot of different examples over here. So if you want to do it, maybe the way I'm doing it doesn't suit your needs exactly, come over here and check out the docs on router.vuejs.org. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, but there is a ton of information on how to do a lot of different stuff with VueRouter depending on your application setup. All right, so we're back over here with Vue from Vue, VueRouter from VueRouter, Vue use VueRouter. So let's go ahead and import our two files that we created a minute ago. Our two files were dashboard container and contact container. So let's go ahead and say import dashboard from, we'll do components slash dashboard slash container. And then we can do contacts. Was it contacts with an S? Just contact. Import contact from components contact and then container. So we've imported our dashboard, we've imported our contact. You can see they're kind of dull right now because we haven't used them anywhere. This is Visual Studio Code letting us know, like, hey, there it goes. It's declared, but its value is never read. So let's go ahead and tell it what to do with this. So I'm going to create a new constant called routes. So const equals, so const routes equals all right, so then we'll put our component, we'll put our component is dashboard. We're going to give it a name of dashboard, and we want the path, and that's what's going to show up after our app. It's probably going to have a pound sign and then probably a slash dashboard. So we want it to be, I'm just going to use dashboard. So we'll say path is slash dashboard. All right. And so routes right here takes an array of objects. So each one of these is an object. You can actually have child routes and objects within each one of these. We're not going to get into that in this video, but you could come down here and I forget what they call it. It's child something, and then you can come and basically redo all this, the component name path right in here, and then it would step down almost like a file tree. So you would have your initial path of slash dashboard, and then whatever was inside of that, it would be dashboard slash, and then whatever path you put in here, and you could just get deeper and deeper and deeper inside of this slash dashboard slash user slash data slash something. But we're not going to use that. By the way, it's not just child. I'm just prototyping. I'm just guessing. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I guess we could look at VueRouter, but we'll save that for another video. But let's go ahead and add our other route of component. And it was contact. So you can see as soon as I typed it, it lit up to let me know that I actually used it. And then we'll say name, contact, and then path. Contact. All right. Oh, I didn't need these quotations here. I don't know why I did that. All right. So we'll jump down here. I'm going to close that off. And as you can see, we have our routes stored in a constant, but our routes is dull right now. We haven't used it anywhere. So I'm going to just Command S to save what I have for now. And then we'll jump down here and let's go ahead and tell our application it can use these routes. So I'm going to do export default new VueRouter, and I'm going to pass it an object. We'll close it off. And with VueRouter, normally you would have to type routes and then routes to let it know, but they actually have a shorthand for this where you can just say routes. Somewhere in their notes, somewhere it says that, I don't remember, but I know that that does exist. So I'm just going to say short for routes, just in case I don't remember. I'm going to Command S to save. And that should be it for our VueRouter. But we need to tell our project to use it. So let's jump over into our app.js file. So over here, we're in our app.js file. All right, so let's go ahead and include our VueRouter in the app.js file. So right here, I'm just going to add it. We'll say import router from router. And that's going to import the router index.js file. So down here, we're just going to add it in here as well. And we'll just say router to add this imported file. And then Command S to save. So as of right now, we've included our router. Our application should know that the routes exist. We haven't told our application where to load this route. So we want it to load right here in the middle of our application. So I'm going to get rid of these little buttons and things. And we want to tell our application if the user navigates to /dashboard, load the dashboard component in this area. So in order to do that, we'll come back over here and we have to go to our app container. And let's see where that stuff is. V content, V container, and it's going to be in the V row. I can see my code pen, and these are the icons. So I'm just going to get rid of that entire V row, and I'm going to add router-view and close it off with router-view. So now we just told our application whenever anybody navigates to the root / anything, whether it's dashboard / contact / anything else, it's going to put it in this body of our application right here. So Command S to save, and my application just recompiled on the side. I saw the notification, so I should be able to come over here, and I think I can just leave this /dashboard. Let me refresh, and there we go. I'm on my dashboard component. I've loaded my dashboard component. It's in the middle of the page as I suspected. Let's see if we can do the contact. So I'm just going to manually do it for right now. We'll just say contact. And there we go. I was able to manually load the route for our contact page. You found the contact page. So that's all good. It's working as I expected. But we want these links to work too. So instead of having to manually type it up here, I want to let these links know not to load standard href HTML link. I want them to know to load a specific VueRouter link. So there's a way to do that, and let's do that now. So up here, I'm going to go to Vuetify.js.com. I'm going to click on the documentation, and I believe for these links we're using a list, vlist item. So we want to look up the vlist item. So let's go over here. We'll do UI components, and then we'll click on lists. So we'll jump down here and vlist item. Show me what I can do with the vlist item. And I'm looking for something. Here's the href, but that's not what we want. We want something else. What do they offer? 2. Denotes the target route of the link. You can find more information about the to prop on the VueRouter documentation. So it looks like this to prop is going to allow us to just drop in our VueRouter link, and it's going to use VueRouter to navigate our users to the correct page. So let's come back over here to our Visual Studio Code, and we'll say item, and I think I have to do 2 equals, actually, we'll just try it without that for now, dashboard. So we're going to say, take this first link here to dashboard, and I'm just going to copy that, Command C, and we'll come down here, and that's our contact, and we want to say, take this one to contact, and then Command S to save. And I see my application recompiled. I'm going to refresh. I'm not getting any errors. Now, fingers crossed. Cool. When I click on these guys, you found the dashboard. When I click on this, you found the contact page. And you can see it's changing it up here in our URL as well. Dashboard, contact. Awesome. So our VueRouter is set up, it's installed. We have our router index.js file. So as we create new components, and we want new routes, we would come here, we can edit this file, we can nest additional routes. Maybe we'll do another video on that a little later on down the road. You can even do cool stuff with VueRouter. For instance, maybe you want to pass in an ID. So by doing this, using this syntax, your application, you actually could call this anything you want. I could call this, I don't know, I could call it Scriptster. And basically what I'm telling VueRouter is there's going to be a route of dashboard. Whatever comes after the slashboard, after dashboard, you're going to give it a name or an ID. So whatever the value is, we're going to call that value Scriptster. So it would look something like this, dashboard, and then slash, and I don't know, maybe it just says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I wanted to see that value, I could, and it'll pass it in with the name of Scriptster, which is kind of cool. But we're not going to dive into all that. We're just going to leave it like this for right now. I just wanted to give you a couple little examples. Maybe we'll dive more in depth on the VueRouter and some of the options that you have with the routes, and some of the child and nested routes and stuff later on. You should be good to go. You can navigate through your single page application. You saw how to add a router view to a page, and you can even add more views. I could come over here right now. I'm telling my application to load the slash, let me get rid of this. Right now I'm telling my application that when I go to slash dashboard to load it right in here. So you could even, maybe you didn't pass an ID or a number, maybe you just say, I don't know, user. And that user isn't a value that you're trying to identify or store. You wouldn't use the semicolon ID, but if you were to have additional child routes nested in here, you could say dashboard slash user, and there could be a nested route within the dashboard. And then you could come over to your dashboard container, and you could even drop right in here router dash view, and then whatever is inside of dashboard slash user. Now you're saying whatever the user component is on my dashboard, load that component right here. And you can kind of get infinitely deep with these things, but we'll save that for another video another time. Just a couple little things that you can do with the VueRouter. So go ahead, try this out, go through the setup. So I think we're good for now. I haven't decided what the next video is going to be, but stay tuned, and hopefully I have another video up soon.